Hey, what's going on guys? Cygnus here, and today I'm going to try to simplify any more confusion there is about account status, or I might add to the confusion, we'll see. In front of you I have 4 different WoW accounts. Now this is different than my other video explaining how I manage my WoW accounts. I've created two more WoW accounts, so now I have 6, but only 2 are paid. So the one in the top left corner is my free-to-play account. That account is on a completely separate BNet than the other 3 accounts that are on this screen. The one in the top right is my linked free-to-play account. That one is obviously linked to the other 2 accounts. There is my veteran account, and there is my active subscription account. Now we're going to dive into what the differences between these accounts are in just a second. So a free-to-play account is just that. It's an account that you've never bought a subscription or an expansion on. You can create one of these accounts by just going to make a new battle.net account. They're very easy to make and they're free, and you can play WoW up to level 20 for free. Now there are some pros and cons to doing a free-to-play account. Some of the cons, they bank experience. So if you look down at my experience bar, even though I have not passed level 20, as you can see by my free trial level cap reached, my experience is banked. Now in the tooltip over there it says I only have 2%, it's 344 out of 2,825. However, if you look down at the actual bar, it is way higher than that. And if I were to get a subscription right now, I would level up to whatever that is above level 20. You're unable to whisper people, you're unable to invite people to parties, you're unable to join a guild or a community. You're unable to trade. You're unable to use the mail, the auction house, or Chromie time. However, one pro of making a free-to-play character is that you can PvP right away. So my opinions on a free-to-play account is that they are the hardest to gear without help from somebody else or another paid account that you have to help run yourself through dungeons. Or, you know, a guild or a community. If you are on XP off or in one of the in-game communities, you can always just ask and say, hey, can we run with my free-to-play, blah, blah, blah. And like, so there's ways to get around not being able to queue for Chromie time yourself. You can have your friends queue for you, or you can, you know, run yourself through dungeons, and it works fine. Next, we're going to talk about linked free-to-play. These are the same as the other accounts. They are free-to-play accounts. You did not buy a subscription, and you do not have any expansions on this account. As you can see up here in the top left, it says the same thing as it does a non-linked free-to-play account. Now, the cons of a linked free-to-play account are pretty much the same. You still bank XP, you still are unable to invite people to a party, you can't trade, you can't join a guild, you can't use mail, you can't use the auction house, and I think whispers on BNet aren't allowed either, even though you technically still have access to the same BNet. Some pros to linked free-to-play are that you get access to all the same heirlooms that you have on your Battle.net account. You also have all of the transmog appearances from your Battle.net account. You're still able to queue for PvP right away. Now this dude's level 10, but he will stop at level 20 because he is still a free trial account, and you'll still have that lock there at level 20. You also have access to all your mounts. So for example, like the Tundra Mammoth, which is, you know, mobile repair and stuff like that, something super convenient, mobile vendor for you. That's still accessible if you have it on your, if you have unlocked it on your account. Another crazy thing that is nice about linked free-to-play accounts is that you can access Chromie time right away. Like I'm already got the Outland selected, and I can go and queue for a Blood Furnace, Hellfire Rampart, Slave Pens, or Underbog at level 10, just to, you know, get going and gear right away if I want to. And as you can see, well, I don't know if you can actually tell, but I have made a Dark Iron Dwarf. So you do also have access to all of the allied races that you've unlocked on your main account. My opinion on this type of account is it's way easier to gear than your regular free-to-play, because you can just, you know, queue all of the dungeons that your vet would have access to. The only thing that's kind of hard is you don't really have access to all of the enchants and stuff like that. You're gonna have to still grind out a plus 14 to main hand spell power enchant. You're still gonna have to grind out Crusader enchant on this character. You can't get them, you can't trade, right? It's still the same limitations, just with a couple more like quality of life things. And the same thing, I'm gonna remind you again, for these linked free to play accounts, you still bank experience. So if you ever buy a sub on this account, you will level up past level 20. Next up is the veteran accounts. Now, veteran accounts is the status of your account when your subscription runs out. It's not while you are subscribed, it is when you no longer have a subscription on your WoW account. So as you can see, for some reason, veterans, so this account and my last account, so I guess if you've never bought a sub with real money, they don't let you use WoW tokens, which is something I just found out, I mean, like maybe 5 days ago when I bought my like first WoW token. With gold, mind you. So your account goes into veteran status after you've stopped your subscription, right? Now are also, because you don't have a sub, you're unable to invite to a party, you're unable to trade, you're unable to join a guild that you're not already in on a character on that account. Tricky, I know. You are allowed to join communities, which is pretty neat. You can't use the auction house, you can't use the mail. You can whisper, I think you can whisper anybody. Wow, my BNet actually isn't up here either. So maybe you can't whisper. It's the same thing probably. You can whisper people via BattleNet. And the pros to this account, if you keep it in this unsubscribed state, are basically the exact same as the linked free-to-play account. You can PvP, you have access to all your heirlooms and your mounts and your transmog and your allied races. It's all kind of the same. These accounts are essentially the easiest to gear. So your veteran accounts also, up in the corner right here, you'll see I don't have the XP disabled buff. By the way, you can buy these stickers over at the merch store if you want. That means my experience is technically turned on. Now, if I turn all my add-ons off, veteran accounts, if you hover over here, it says 0 out of 20,825. And on the right over there, it says 434. So I'm at like 3% total before I like actually shut my XP off and transferred this character over. You don't have to do that. You can just let your sub run out. I transfer my characters, and I explained that in my other video that I've previously done on my veteran accounts. So when your XP is on, you can queue for random battlegrounds. And you get thrown into the queue as the same as the free-to-play characters and the same as the leveler. So veteran accounts are the easiest to make and the easiest to gear. It does take a month of game time before you can actually PvP and stuff like that. However, you're able to use the mail and the auction house, and you're able to trade with your main characters, or you're able to join a guild and you're able to access the guild bank, and people are able to give you things if they so choose, right? And another thing to note is that free-to-play accounts like the first two that I showed you can no longer get level 28 gear. It is technically grandfathered and you can't farm it anymore. For free-to-play accounts, you can farm it on a veteran account, and that is because it requires level 24 to 25 to farm. And then when you farm it, you send it in the mail to those characters that have mail enabled on your active subscription account. And that is how you gear them very quickly, and with these level 28 pieces that you see in front of me. The nice thing about veteran accounts, because they don't bank experience, you can resub them whenever you want. You have to go disable your experience from the experience eliminator NPC. But say you made a character that had a bunch of steady talisites on them, and then those were the gems that gave really high stamina, and then they got nerfed like they did. Now, if you're on a veteran, you can resubscribe, disable your XP, go change out all your gems, and wait for your subscription to run out again, and then you're able to PvP. Now, granted, yes, that takes a month to do, but in that time you can also level another Twink, or play max level, or play Season of Mastery, or you can do other stuff, right? So it's kind of nice to have that option if you so choose. That's pretty much all I have for this video, you guys. Let me know if I cleared things up for you. Let me know if I made things more difficult. That wasn't the goal, but sometimes, you know, it happens. And let me know what you guys want to see next. I feel like I've almost hit everything when it comes to Twink stuff. I don't know. There's certain guides that I haven't touched yet just because I don't really feel the need for them. But if people express that much of a need for them, then I'll go ahead and make them. It's perfectly fine. So thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, and by the way, I have this new button that's down there in the corner. You guys can become members of the channel and support me directly. The first one, and I think this is my only one so far, is I think his name's Poutine Master, but he goes by Waza or Boris, and you've probably seen me play with him on my free-to-play Rogue and do some BGs with him. And that's not exclusive to members, but maybe it will be. If you guys want to do that, feel free and hit that join button below. I think I put it at like super cheap at like $2 or something like that, because it's not really like, the fact that you guys subscribe to me as it is good enough, and I appreciate that. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.